You're watching Q&A Camping with Dan Stanton.
Hi, I'm Dan Stanton.
Hi, I'm Dan from Stanton Bikes. This is Joe. Joe's going to be your voice, basically. He's got together a Q&A. You guys have asked a bunch of questions, so he's effectively going to be your voice. I've had a swift glance, but not too much of an interaction with the questions, so we'll just see how this goes.
Hello, I'm the voice of the people. First one from Ed. Are you thrilled to have finally made a frame as handsome as yourself? Where do you go from here?
Well, 40-year-old now, so it's all downhill from here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Peaked. I've got some good plans. Yeah, I've got some exciting ideas. I've got there's still plenty of other products to go, isn't there? So I'm still excited about doing it.
Which leads me on to the next question from Andy Leto. I'm impressed with the evolution of the Switch9er. Is there any room in the lineup for an FS Sherpa?
100% there is, yeah. I'm just trying to gather the time to be able to finish off squaring up the models, the parts for all of the linkages and so on. Kinematics are all squared away, I won't go into it too much. But yeah, it's on the cards. It is a balancing act because there's a lot of other stuff going on with the business, but it is the area that I enjoy. So I'll try and give it as much time as I can.
Will you do a chain guard to protect the rear triangle of the carbon swing arm?
Yes, we will. We're already actually in process with it, and the first production ones are in process. So, and then we're working with 76 projects on that, a UK company, so they'll be UK made. So, next.
What is the difference in behaviour between tie and steel version? Presuming they mean the front end there.
Front end, to be honest, it's much lighter. Stiffness, not really. There's not much difference. There's a little bit of difference in stiffness, but really, the stiffness comes from the carbon rear end over the aluminium rear end. But principally, it's the weight that's dropped out of it. Both materials really, absorb trail buzz and this, that, and the other really, really well. So it's difficult to say that one is better over the other for that reason. But yeah.
What tie alloy are you using, and which factory is it welded in? Ooh, wants to know all the secrets. Also, talk to me about tie fatigue failures.
So we use triple butted 3AL 2.5V titanium. All the buttons custom designed and then custom drawn for us. I don't really want to say factory that we use because that's giving away secrets, because they're literally one of the best in the world that we use for titanium. Our UK making attempt to be to the quality and to the level that they produce product, to be quite frank. We offer custom in-house on titanium front ends for FSs, but definitely in terms of high product turn through on titanium frames, we're not set up for that. So we farm that out now to, like I say, one of the best titanium producers in the world. So.
Do you accept kidneys as payment?
Hold on. Just before that, I forgot to answer something, which was about fatigue. Yeah, we've never had a frame back for any fail titanium, because you could enter the same wall thicknesses and diameters for a titanium frame that you'd use on the steel. And then still it'd all pass testing, no sweat. All you're doing really is adding material, adding strength, and so our titanium frames really you could class them as overbuilt really, but I've never had one back, so I'd rather that way round.
Do you accept kidneys as payment though?
Not right now, because I don't need one, but that's a good question. For dinner.
Cy Whitmore, does the front triangle work okay with the aluminium rear ends or best with the carbon?
The whole thing's lighter in Thai carbon and it gives a more racy feel. It's like all the Thai frames are a little stiffer, a little bit more kind of direct and aggressive. If you're not racing as much, if you're not that bothered about weight, more about comfort, more about like flex and feel, I'd say the steel alley version is really, really good for that.
We've sort of been over this, but not into this. What's the main benefit of the Thai front triangle versus a steel, other than weight?
Probably a bit of strength, to be honest. Just because material wall thickness, the diameter of the tube's greater and the wall thickness is higher. So.
Finish.
And the finish is a big one, yeah, especially with the Cerakote decals and so on. You know, they're mate. So
Take that.
yeah. With a tie front end, all you're doing really is just Scotch brighten it back whenever you scuff or scratch it. You know, with Cerakote decals as well. That's that. They're never coming off. So that, yeah, probably the best way around. That's probably the main reason.
Can you run the Switch9er FS as a mullet, 27.5 on the back? So short arses like me at 5'2". That's your height, isn't it? 5'2".
Not far off.
Can ride them? Question mark.
Yeah, no sweat. One of the best setups you could go for is the Switchback FS 140 with a 140 29er fork, 29er front wheel. Set your geometry and everything exactly the same as your Switchback 140 with a 160 fork.
Patrick Gerber, any improvement for the aluminium bolts and the rear end planned? They seem to get worn very easily using the correct Allen key. Also saw a few pics of broken bolts, saying somebody's also made tie bolts on the Stanton owners group. Do you think about some improvements here?
We did have a couple of real world failures after all testing had been done on some of the bolts. Basically the Allen head was slightly too large, so we went down that Allen key head, and then after that obviously we've not had any issues. The point is the platform stays the same, so we iteratively develop the product as we go along. So yeah, I am thinking about it. I'm thinking about basically two hollow tubes that marry together, thread together, and you'll be able to see straight through each axle. So, but it's just getting the time to put one of them together. But yeah, a new axle kit, and that will run right the way through all product. Yeah, that's something. Modular. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but principally, you know, there's loads of those FSs out there. I've never popped a bolt personally. You know, yeah, it depends. Weight, size, style of ride, this, that, and the other. But when we made the Allen key head smaller, yes, we've not had any failures on those bolts.
Please share the LR and AS chart. Share the effective STA at several seat heights from the BB. Thank you. So I delivered that quite aggressively.
Okay.
That's how it's written.
Please, what was it?
Please share the LR and AS chart. Share the effective STA at several seat heights from the BB. Thank you.
Okay. I don't have my chart book to hand out here in the woods.
Really?
No. But we could put them on the website. Yeah, we could look to do that. More detail about the linkage, about the kinematics and so on.
Well, yeah, there's somebody asking for the leverage and force curve as well, please, on the Schwerp. Will the tie and carbon combo be used on any other bikes like the Switchback FS 140, for example? Covered that. Steve Birkin, maybe you could explain why you have abandoned UK manufacture and what benefits are from buying from you instead of other, inverted commas, UK brand like Ribble. Abandoned.
I didn't even know we had. Have we abandoned it? No, because we still make. You can still buy a UK hardtail from us. Like all of the Reynolds tubed frames in the building are all made in house. Including the full sus with the aluminium rears. You can also order, like I say, a handful. We're doing a handful of custom titanium front ends in house, and also we've just moved the manufacturing from one side to the other. Obviously, everybody had dramas with the whole COVID, this, that, and the other, and you know, people on lock and people leaving and people, you know. But anyhow, we moved to the other side, we set up, we will be opening up customization on UK made product as well. But we're just a bit more tidying up in that side of the building, and then we'll be on that. So yeah. But so no, there's no abandoning gone on at all, you know. Titanium production we took back over to Asia just because we couldn't keep up with the rate of production needed. It just literally, you know, went through the roof, and then on top of that, you know, COVID hit and this, that, and the other was going on. So it really, you know, and we ended up in a position where we didn't have anybody to be able to cut and process the tubing on titanium or steel at one point. So we then worked with a CNC company, designed a load of jigs to be able to hold tubing, and so that then meant that we didn't need somebody, or we didn't need people to be in-house processing and cutting tubing. We could just literally, so there's been no abandoning, just progression, shuffling around and progression really.
We're over to Instagram now. If I jumped off my Switch9er hardtail and straight onto this, what would feel the same and what would feel different?
Suspension. Got rear suspension on this. Sorry. But principally, the virtual top tube. Basically your cockpit area is nigh on the same, and the Switch9er hardtail is like designed into the sag of the Switch9er FS. So when you're on the bike and this is all seated into its what do you call it?
Sag.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, cheers. Seated into its sag, it offers the same riding position as the hardtail.
Is the frame still subject to Stanton's lifetime warranty for the original owner, both the tyre and carbon parts, along with the linkage? Easy.
Yes. Yeah, everything we do. Hey, thank you, Mr. Tar.
Hey.
Yeah.
Everything.
Same game.
Are you planning to do a 27.5 tie full sus 2?
Yes.
Why the long head tubes?
One is because hello. Okay, so not that long really. One is because you don't want to be. One is for water bottle clearance in here, helps with that, but that's not really. That's just an after effect of it really. Hello. The other reason is because you don't want to be running a hell of a lot of stackers at the top there. The other is because of the way the suspension kinematics work in relation to the stack on the bike. So about bottom bracket drop and so on. But
is the swept bar between the seat tube and the top tube structural or aesthetic? Banana bar, I guess it is.
It is structural because the basically this top link pivot here is in the same position regardless of the size of the bike. So this top tube, where the juncture is on the seat tube is the same regardless. So then the seat tube extension over the top tube is the only thing that grows. Obviously the length of the bike grows, but in terms of the height of the bike, just that part grows, and then the banana bars iteratively get larger as you go through the frame sizes. So it supports the leverage of the rider on the seat tube. There you go.
Can I use a 150mm fork? Will it affect the BB height and geometry too much? And I want to use AXS, so can do away with the cable lugs on the frame and use the existing internal routing for the brakes. All that?
140 to 160 is fine on this model. All you do is make it a bit more traily rather than all mountain or enduro, whichever term you fancy. What was the other bits?
AXS.
Yeah, if you want a titanium front end, then you'd have to order one of the UK made ones, and we can do that sort of stuff for you. If you wanted the steel one, we can achieve that because that's made in the UK anyway. So yes is the answer. Yes, you can, sir.
Is customer service a priority for Stanton?
Is customer service a priority? Of course it is. Of course it is. You don't go from borrowing £7,000 off a mate 11 years ago to turning over a reasonable chunk, day on day. So evidently customer service is a massive part of it. We try our best. We try to be as honest and down the line as we possibly can with the information that we have in hand, and that constantly changes, especially with the way things are at the moment. These things constantly change, but I promise you that our intention is to be nothing but truthful and serve the industry as best as we can. Be a true contributor to the culture. That's basically the play here, So I think a lot of it, in honesty, I think a lot of it is down to the fact that that we live in a very buy now, get yesterday culture, and we're, especially if you're buying a UK made product, we're making it. There's loads of processes in it. It's not as cut and dry. So,
Would you swap it for some pogs? He's got bare slammers.
I would.
How many pogs?
For one of these?
Yeah.
Depends on the pog, mate.
Depends on the pog, to be fair. Get in contact.
Get
Send an
see your
email.
pogs.
Yeah,
See
it's
your
get your
pogs,
pogs out. How do you see titanium competing long term in the full suspension market when it's so dominated by carbon? It's a good question.
Well, I understand that a lot of the cost of carbon is in the moulds and so on. So the production of carbon, once it gets going, a big investment in the beginning, especially obviously for a full frame and so on, and then it's just about mass quantity and throwing them out there. So the likelihood is, in terms of quantity, you know, not so well. In terms of quality, you make your own mind up, you know. I think titanium as a material is far tougher. It gives far better advantages for biking than carbon, I think, for front ends. So, yeah.
Why should I choose Thai instead of the steel version? Is it worth the price differences?
Why should I choose?
Why should I choose Thai instead of steel?
Why should you choose Thai instead of?
Front end, I guess.
Because obviously, if you damage it, scratch it, and so on, you just literally buff it back up. When a steel frame's been through the mill a bit, it can start to look a bit tired and so on. In terms of ride feel, titanium is probably a little stiffer, but it's, I'd say one of the major things is the amount of weight that's dropped out of it, and the fact that it's like I say, it always looks new. It always looks new. That's the other thing.
When does this bad boy go on sale, and what is the lead time to delivery likely to be, and what is the price?
They're on sale now. You can buy one now. We have some stock, only a small amount of stock at the moment. We're just in the middle of organising all of the marketing and getting all the campaigns squared away for marketing. But principally, the stock is in, and you can buy one. If you want to buy if you want to buy a UK-made one, it's a little bit more, obviously, because we're manufacturing it in-house. But you can customise your geometry. But if you're buying an Asian one, then you're looking 3,600, isn't it, with an Olin shock, and it's 4.1 with an EXT, and then you'd add £1,000 for that if you wanted a customised UK version.
How did you design the kinematics of the suspension? Why did you design it the way you did?
It's a big question, isn't it? Because I wanted to create a platform that I thought would be timeless. So I looked at what was most important in terms of ride feel, and then spent ages poring over trying to get my kinematic layout to suit that. And then after that, I worked on the aesthetics, you know. And then after that, we then worked on the strength of the whole product. So I forgot what the question is. The reason I designed the kinematics the way I did was because I was looking for something that was long term. So basically, something that moved backwards in the wheel arc, so that it helped with small bump impacts. Something that moved more at the beginning of the travel, so a progressive curve, so that it felt more supple at the start of the travel, naturally just by curve. And then something with a high anti-squat, so that when you put the power down, the rear wheel drives into the floor rather than your weight being pushed through the bike. So I wanted to come up with something that, like, what are all the base principles, what are we actually chasing, you know, and then work from that. And then I've got something that I feel that is timeless, and then I can iteratively build on it, product by product by product, you know, or part by part by part on the product. Anyhow.
Any chance I can caps lock mullet this frame?
Mullet this frame? Yes, you can. If you run the switchback 140 with a 140 fork, switchback 140 with a 29er 140 fork and a 29er front wheel, that'll give you exactly the same geometry as if you were to run the Switch9er on its as standard. Switchback 140 as standard.
There's a couple questions saying what is the weight of the tie front and the triangle compared to the steel. Do you want me to put it here?
Just there.
Just here?
Can do if you know how to do that.
Well, yeah. So you point at which one and you'll say Steel is, you know what I mean? Steel is that.
The carbon rear end is this much. The aluminium rear end is this much. The steel front end is this much, and the titanium front end is this much. Collectively, the steel aluminium version weighs this much, and collectively the Ti-carbon version weighs this much.
18 inch.
All in 18, by the way, because that's the frame they're the frames we've compared just before we came here.
More of a general question, are you looking to expand your operation to improve process and lead times? Also, oh yeah, they just ask about Ti-carbon, reduce weight, etc. But mainly the general question about process and lead time. They don't even know. They've not even seen the unit.
No.
Recently.
Yeah, yes, 100%. The business is growing very, very quickly, and it's a constant juggling act, you know. But yeah, we've actually got somebody in to help us lean and clean all the processes to basically tie behavioural processes to health and safety documentation to make sure that each and every single aspect of the process is not only safe for the individual but also ticked and qualified as the completed objective per stage, per department. I don't know, it's a bit of a roundabout.
Boring.
Yeah.
Boring.
It's not your bit, is it, mate? But yeah, the business is growing big time, you know, and all the while as it expands, you're expecting more from the people that you're putting in there until it grows to a point where you know you can afford to put somebody else in there to give that person a hand, you know, and because who else is doing what we're doing, you know, what would you class, 1,000 frames? I'd say 1,000 frames made in the UK, I'd class that as quite a mass scenario. It's bloody seems like a lot as they pour in through the building. You know, that's just UK made versions. That's the bit that, you know, is the processing issues. But it's, you see, painting, we paint everything. We finish all titanium frames in house. You know, even whether it comes from Asia or whether it's made in house, everything goes through that paint shop. As well, you've got to think about all the different aspects of the processes. We're working with so many other companies. We're not just self-reliant for every single aspect, you know. We don't CNC all of our parts. If the CNC person can't get material because the material factory is on half staff and the raw materials factory that pulls the material from the core of the earth is on half staff, there ain't much I can do about that, you know. I can just, when I get the information, pass it to my staff. My staff then tell, you know, the lead times change because there's no more raw materials, or the lead times change because the CNC firm's now on half staff because they've had a COVID outbreak, or, you know, all this sort of crap's been behind it all. We're trying to work with it all, but principally in-house, what we can take control of, we are doing our utmost. 100% we are. 100%.
There's a final DM that says, "Hi Dan, do you plan to offer an upgrade kit containing tie front, linkages and all the small parts? I own a steel and alley version with the carbon rear end upgrade on its way. I would think about a tie front, but I don't like the idea of discarding the current front and rear, missing only the hardware." Yeah. Modular, eh?
Yeah, modular. So yeah, no problem at all. We could even square it away for you now, you know. You can buy it per link if you want. You know, so yeah, no worries at all. We can achieve that, and that's the whole part of the business plan, to be honest. So yeah, yes.
I've got a question for you now. Yeah. What do you think of that bike, and what do you think of the suspension platform? Obviously, we offer it Öhlins and EXT. Why would somebody choose one or the other? Or have you, what are your thoughts about it?
Firstly, it's I'm literally riding my dream, you know, it's my dream bike. I'm absolutely flabbergasted with how I'm overwhelmed with how well it's come out, to be honest. It's exactly on point for me. It is my ideal bike. I'm not one to give away praise easily either. and normally when someone would say to me, what do you prefer, Fox or Olins or RockShox or this, that and the other, generally I'm a fit and forget, so if it slots on nice and easy, I can set them up how I like, both offer the same sort of thing, you know. I've not really looked into the chambers on these, but there is something special about these forks. There's something special about the suspension system. It works out absolutely perfect. That is a custom tune. It is a custom tune to the kinematics, the linkage curve and so on. But yeah, it literally is a culmination of years of thinking about bikes, of developing bikes, of working with the right people who have influenced me. So I've come to understand more, you know. And yeah, I literally, honestly feel like I'm riding my dream bike. That's where I'm at with it. It feels amazing. Railing corners feels amazing on it. Stable as hell. You know, as soon as it gets steep, techie, perfect. Love it, love it. Never feel out my depth. So yeah.
Confidence inspiring.
Confidence inspiring, yeah. And playful.
And playful. Demo fleet. How does somebody ride one? How do we get people on them? What are we going to build one? Are we going to build some for demo? And also, something that's not been covered is sort of like lead times on things, numbers. How many have we got, and then how many are we going to have?
Right now, a major issue is getting colder components. So being able to put a demo fleet together is nigh on impossible. However, what's the saying? Those who keep their heads while everybody is losing theirs will reap the benefits of the future. Yeah. So when all the dramas and everything we're experiencing was kicking off, laid in loads of orders for frames. So we are literally dripping in frames. We've got fast turnaround on Taiwanese product. Got more titanium frames than you can shake a stick at, arriving in a few weeks. We have got loads of kits for UK making, all squared away, so mass swathes of product there starting to filter through. You know, so we're really on top of all those things. So we've got all our plates spinning all right down our end. But you know, we don't make the components, so putting complete bikes together is a bit of a difficulty. But we're a frame producer, and the cut and dry of it is, the components don't necessarily make the bike as such. People say they ride a Stanton, they don't ride a RockShox, you know. So you can always get a different frame feel, different bike feel, just by swapping out a frame. So that's really our main play. Components, this, that, the other, yes. When we get a solid filter through of components, we'll put a demo fleet together. We've got framing shocks, you know. We've got obviously hardtails and then FSs with framing shocks. We've got some Thai carbons in stock, only a handful right now, until December, January, and then that's when we really launch this product. So there's only a handful, and we're only going to make 15 custom UK made. 6 of those slots are gone now.
What finish could I have that bad boy in if I wanted?
This one?
Yeah.
Any titanium frame you can have in standard blasted finish, or you could have a blasted hezi wrap.
Sezzy hezi.
You can have a Sezzy hezi.
Cerakote.
A Cerakote. What are you saying here? So we can. This is a Sezzy hezi, is it? Yeah. A Cerakote. A Cerakote wrap. That's what that is. It's a heritage wrap that's been done in Cerakote. Cerakote's the stuff that they use on gun barrels, you know. So it's really, really hard wearing on all guns.
On the whole gun.
On the whole gun. Sorry, not on just the barrels. It is a ceramic coating. Yeah, yeah. So, and you can get different colours as well. We are smashing Cerakote. Who does that? Who does that? You know. And the thing is with Cerakote, it's so hard wearing, and you can get a plethora of different colours. You know, you could go black with white writing, red crown. We also anodise as well. You know, the titanium finishes are really, really good looking. Yeah. Or you can mix it up as well. You can have a Cerakote wrap with what's my FS? My Thai Sherpa is black Cerakote wrap with anodised blue. Anodised blue logo. That is good looking, right? Yeah. And then my switch path. Black Cerakote wrap.
Question about the switch path. Where's the switch path?
3 weeks away, bro.
3 weeks.
3 weeks away. Yeah. We've not. And again. Well, let's be honest, Joe. What happened? Joe got robbed. Stanton camera, all the kit.
My camera.
Well, your camera, my MacBook, your camera.
Yeah,
okay. which forced me to buy a camera and in my MacBook. But yeah, so all the kit got nicked, so some of the campaigns couldn't go ahead because we didn't have the kit to be able to produce the video footage and the photos and everything else.
All the components.
All the components as well. Components has been a real battle to get them to. Some of it's you. No, it literally is that bike, the switch pads, that's only just going together. We only just got the XTR hubs to fit to the carbon rims, but yeah, that's going to be a good-looking little model. Yeah,
This could be very good.
that's beautiful, beautiful bike, beautiful bike. That.
So that concludes all of the questions on there and questions from me. Let us know if you want to do any more of them. I think they're quite good for clarity, aren't they? And helping clear things up. There's people that didn't know you could even buy that yet.
Yeah.
There's people that thought we'd abandoned UK manufacture. Is there anything you want to, as a parting message, or yeah, what do you want to say to the peoples?
Switch path, we're looking at about 3 weeks till they're here. We'll have more titanium than you can shake a stick at pretty soon as well, overall. Thai carbons, like I say, we've got a handful available at the minute of both Asian made and English made. So yeah, that's and yeah, in terms of processes and things like that, we are leaning everything up as the business is expanding. We are putting more people in. We're actually employing again now for 2 more posts. And the other thing I want to say is thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for those who have bought product from us, that have supported us, that you know, that see the value in what we're doing. You know, yeah, I want you to know that we're very, very committed to bringing the best of ourselves to this culture, to mountain biking. We're deeply grateful for those that are in support of us. Thank you very much.
Bumps, bruv.